Hello, and welcome to the Chatterbox Letters podcast. Today I will be doing a special presentation. Today I will be reading my self-published book, The Minorities, the Pilot, Chapter 2. I hope that everyone will enjoy listening to me while I read to you. All right, let me go ahead and get the chapter ready to read for everyone. Alrighty. Chapter 2, Sarah's Secret Revealed. It was early in the afternoon at the Wilkerson household. The phone rang. Judith picked up. Donnie was on the receiving end of the phone at his job. Judith received Donnie's call. Hello, Donnie. What's up, sweetie? What? How long are you going to be this afternoon? Okay, see you when you arrive home. Bye. Judith's friend Lisa Powers came over for a visit and a conversation. Lisa knocked at the back door. After her call with Donnie, Judith hung up the phone quickly. She signaled for Lisa by waving her hand for her to come in. Knock, knock. Judith, can I come in, please? Judith replied. Come in, Lisa. How are you? I'm fine. I have to say, how are you, Judith? Fine. I can't complain, Lisa. Donnie got to work over a little bit today. Would you like a cold glass of iced tea? Judith offered Lisa. Yes, I don't mind if I do. Judith, thanks. So Donnie got to work over. Overtime is good. It means you can have the extra things you need here and for your family, Lisa said. Yes, Lisa, and that's the best thing about it. My Donnie working over is that we're getting the extra things that we need here and for the family, Judith replied. Judith, it's been kind of hard on me and my family since I lost my job at the office 3 weeks ago, Lisa said with disappointment. What happened at the office, Lisa? Judith questioned Lisa with concern. I guess the way the economy is right now, and with no money rolling through the company, it's not enough money and resources to keep the company afloat or anything else in that matter. Lisa responded with concern about how she was going to help herself, her husband, and the family without financial support. Judith and Lisa proceeded into the living room with their cold glasses of iced tea to continue their conversation on the sofa. I guess I can be thankful for Donnie, Judith said with appreciation for Donnie. Getting a little overtime does come in. All right, and it also comes handy. All right, with Donnie being the only one working and the way he feels about me working, he says he makes enough for the both of us. I still feel I should. contribute to the household too? Judith said. I guess so, Judith. That's your opinion. For me, it's different. I don't know. I got to find another job somewhere. I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh well, Lisa said, as she gave a different opinion when it comes to having a job and helping the finances in her household. Just like you said, this is a poor economy and jobs are scarce these days. You'll manage, Lisa. You will, Judith assured Lisa that the grass will be greener for her job prize. Let me go ahead and turn on the light because I'm a little dark here. So let me go ahead and turn on the light here. Everybody can see? All right. Let's go to the next page. I know I will, Judith. So tell me, how is your daughter Emily and your son Daniel? Lisa questioned Judith. I don't see much of them lately. They're paddling around with their friends mostly, Judith replied as a concerned mother for her daughter. Emily raced out of the house this morning like her tail was on fire. Very early this morning without a good breakfast. She just grabbed a piece of toast and rushed out the front door. Emily said that it was something her friend Sarah Langston had to tell her at school. Lisa, I am so determined to know what was so important that Lisa had to rush out the house like she did this morning. This secret Sarah had to tell Emily. I really hope nothing is wrong with Sarah or Emily. If I have anything else to say about it, what they're so secretive about, I guess it's none of my business, or should I make it my business, especially when it comes to my teenage daughter. I feel that it's your business, especially where your daughter is concerned. I'm quite sure Emily isn't going to tell you what's going on with her or about Sarah in that matter, both girls being secretive. Judith, maybe, just maybe, in a due time, Emily or Sarah or both girls will fess up. In the meantime, Lisa replied to Judith. About the realities of the private sector where secrets are kept safe and soundless. I'm sure it's something very important, but disturbing. I don't know. Donnie told me it's the privacy sector some of these girls or boys display when everything is a secret. I think that teenagers, we were teens once. I hope it's nothing extremely serious, Lisa, Judith said with extreme concern for her daughter Emily. Lisa was curious and very concerned for Emily and her friend Sarah and why they were so secretive. She pinpointed Judith's concern for her daughter Emily. Lisa really wanted to get to the meat of the matter with Emily and Sarah's secret was about. Lisa and Judith was very noisy to the point of no return. They were determined to break the privacy sector of Emily and Sarah's secret. They began conversating briefly about what was going to happened with the girls. Judith, do you think something had bad about what's going on with Emily and Sarah that we can both should know about what I mean in Emily's case, being that she is your daughter? Lisa questioned. Judith putting Emily and Lisa's secret under investigation. I don't think so, Lisa. I really don't think so. Maybe we're reading too much into this secret. Emily and Sarah do have a right to their privacy, Judy said. Judith and Lisa sat on the sofa with their cold glasses of iced tea in their hands. They stared at each other, thinking that maybe something more was going on with Emily and Sarah that they were letting on. Judith was still determined to find out what the secret was about between Emily and Sarah, even if it was kept a teen thing. It was 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon when school let out. Emily and Sarah was walking home from school. Sarah became emotional again about her pregnancy. She confided in Emily in order to help her through the trials and tribulation of an unplanned pregnancy. Emily, how can I be so stupid as to let myself get pregnant? Sarah cried out. Sarah, you're not stupid, and you didn't do this by yourself, Emily said in reminder to Sarah that it takes two to create another life beyond her own. I don't know what it's like to be in your position, Sarah, but I will tell you, with support of your dad, mom, and maybe your father, I'm sure things will work out for you, Sarah, Emily said. Emily, how is it that impossible? Sarah replied with slight haste. Who's going to help me out? I know Richard Morris isn't going to lift a finger to raise our child. He's too busy running around trying to be a pimp, running around with his bum friends doing nothing but acting silly. Sarah, please never depend on a guy if he's not going to be a man for you and about taking care of his responsibility or being there for you and your child, Emily replied to Sarah as they walked home from school. Next page. Still feeling depressed, Sarah took what Emily said into her heart and into complete consideration. She had thoughts about her boyfriend, Richard Morris. She had hoped he would change his tune about being there, at least for their unborn child. I know what you're saying, Emily, and it's just that I wish Richard would grow up and be a man enough to take care of his responsibility as a soon-to-be father, at least for our unborn child's sake. That's all. He's not, Sarah, Emily replied to Sarah about Richard for not being a responsible for his part in their situation and Sarah's pregnancy. Richard not going to be responsible. Look what he's done to you. I heard, and this is just a rumor, Sarah, I heard that he does not even claim to be the father. Sarah was startled about Emily's comment about Richard. She claimed not to be the father of your unborn child. Emily, he's going around saying, and he doesn't claim the baby. Are you serious? He doesn't claim the baby. That's the rumor, Sarah. Come on, get over him. Sarah, please stop making it seem like you can't do nothing without the creep. Like this baby is going to keep you both together. Having a baby isn't going to make Richard closer to you or the baby. He doesn't care. Sarah, my God, get over him, please, Emily said in great concern for Sarah's pride and dignity. You're right, Emily. I got to stop feeling sorry for myself and using the baby to make Richard see me or help me take care of the baby, because he isn't like you said he wouldn't. Sarah decided to put the issue of her pregnancy to rest where Richard was concerned. I'm going to do what I need to do for me and the child. I think I better tell my parents. That's a start, Sarah. So let's stop thinking or talking about this for a while. Let me get my house and drown ourselves in hot fudge sundae as Emily and Sarah arrived at Emily's house. They went inside the house straight to the kitchen to make their hot fudge sundaes. Emily and Sarah ate their sundaes without mentioning anything about the pregnancy or about Richard being unresponsible. Meanwhile, at Leonard's frozen food factory, Donnie's place of employment. Donnie had to finish late shift with overtime included. He clocked out as he left the facility. Outside, Donnie was met by his co-worker, best friend Stanley Powers. My Lord, Stan, I'm tired. Donnie walked out of the factory, barely picking up his arms and feet off the ground because he was so tired. My Lord, it seems like I've been on my job ever since yesterday afternoon. But I say, I'm very happy about getting some overtime for a change, and it just in time too. I got a lot of things to do and take care of at my home, Donnie said, barely keeping his eyes open from tiredness. I understand what you're talking about, Donnie, Stanley replied. My wife, Lisa, she lost her job at the office about 3 weeks ago. And it's really been hard on her, and it's been a strain on our financial situation. You know, bills and such. Stanley revealed to Donnie about his wife losing her job. Stan, I've been there in that same position more than once, more than twice. I do make enough money so Judith can stay home. But she wants to work just in case my overtime stops. Donnie expressed to Stanley about Judith's determination to help Donnie support their family. With the way things are going with the economy, people losing their jobs every single day. Jobs are hard to find or come by. The reality is you need both parties working in order to hold a household. Donnie and Stanley were met by another one of their co-workers, Paul Langston, Sarah's father. He walked around to where Stanley and Donnie was in the parking lot as they approached their cars. Hello, Don. Hello, Stan. How is it going today? Paul greeted Stanley and Donnie. Yeah, I tell you, every single day we work overtime. It's a blessing to me and for my daughter Sarah. I'm not so sure what my wife thinks about anything I do, or if she cares at all when I bring home the bacon. She's so busy doing her thing out in the street. God only knows what she does with her time. I feel so bad for her daughter, Sarah. She's walking around like she's lost in another, let's go to the next page, world. She's not talking to me about anything. Everything is a secret where Sarah's concerned. My Lord, Paul, that's deep. I feel the same about my daughter Emily. Secrets. Judith and I have the same problem with Emily. What are you going to do about your daughter? Sarah, Paul, Donnie shared their same privacy sector, Paul, when it comes to entering their girls' private sector. I don't know, Donnie. I hope nothing seriously wrong with Sarah. I'm not going to put too much into this, but I feel something's really going on with Sarah. I haven't pinpointed the problem. Sarah will not talk to me about anything. I feel my daughter is shutting me out. Paul was very concerned for his daughter Sarah. Donnie, maybe it's a woman thing, Donnie replied to Paul. Most daddy girls like to communicate with their daddies. Some don't. I wish my daughter Emily would tell me what's on her mind, but I don't know. I can't force her to do so. She doesn't want her daddy prying into her business. You know how it is. Paul was very disgusted with Sarah's mother, Susan, and how she carried herself as a very disrespectful woman when it comes to being a mother to Sarah. That's my point, Stan. Sarah doesn't have a mother to influence her or direct her in the right way and put her in a good state of mind on some of the woman issues that I really can't help her with. My daughter Emily is her best friend, Paul. They've been talking a lot lately. My daughter rushed out the house this morning. She and Sarah had something they wanted to talk about. I don't know what that is, Donnie said. Maybe, Donnie, your wife can talk to Sarah, being that she needs a mother figure in her life. That's if Sarah decides to open that door on what she's being secret about, like teenage girls normally are. Paul gives Donnie's wife Judith permission to talk to and question Sarah about what's been going on with her. Donnie, Paul, I'll see you tomorrow morning at work. Stanley proceeded in a different location of the parking lot where his car was parked. Donnie came upon his car. He got into his car. I'll talk to my wife about Sarah, Paul. That's if Sarah is willing to spill the beans. Maybe she'll talk with Judith about the problem. If you don't mind, Paul, do you? Donnie said. Paul belittled his wife Susan to Donnie about her mother position. I really don't have a choice in the matter with Sarah. Donnie, like I said, her mother is a lost cause in this matter of our daughter. Sarah, maybe your wife Judith will get Sarah to talk about what's on her mind. Okay, I'll let you know tomorrow. Paul, bring her over tonight, Donnie replied. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Donnie. Sarah called me earlier from school. She walked home with your daughter, Emily, from school today. Excuse me. Paul pulled his keys out. Excuse me, I'm really kind of messing up a little bit, but bear with me. Paul pulled his keys out of his pocket. Donnie cranked his car. He was ready to leave Leonard's frozen food facility. Donnie turned to Paul while placing his car into gear to back out of the parking lot. Okay, that's great, Paul. Tonight, Judith can talk to Sarah today. What's been going on with her? Just maybe she can see if she can figure out what's been on her mind lately, or to see if she has any issue I need to know about. I'll bring her home later on tonight, if you don't mind. Paul thanked Donnie. That's thanks for what your wife Judith is doing, so especially for Sarah. She is what's right for my daughter when it comes to giving a motherly advice. Donnie drove off towards home while Paul looked on with curiosity of his family's secrecy and her intuitions. It was the late afternoon at the Wilkinson household. Judith, excuse me, I'm messing up. Judith served dinner with Sarah in attendance. Donnie wondered about his father's absence at the table. He questioned his mother about why he was always coming home late from work. All right, let's do the next page. Mama, where's Daddy? He's supposed to be home hours ago. Daniel, your daddy, will be home in a little while. He had to work overtime so that we will have everything we need and for our house, Judith replied to Daniel's question about his father's absence at the dinner table. Oh, I guess that's okay, Mama. Danny continued to eat his dinner. Emily became offensive towards Daniel for not caring or appreciating their father for what he did for the family and the house. She started to belittle Daniel about the question he asked about their dad's absence from the dinner table. And Emily started calling him names. No, Daniel, you dumbhead. That's great. Our father works overtime so we can have everything that we need for the house and for us. Donnie, you get it. You're black. Dan, I'm messing up a little bit. Don't you get it, you blockhead? Daniel took offense to Emily's remarks and for calling him a numbhead and a blockhead in front of her friend, Sarah. He returned the favor to Emily right in front of her friend Sarah by offering her the same fate, but with more haste. Will you excuse me, you numbskull? Why don't you go somewhere and hide under a rock? Just maybe I'll forget that you're hiding under there and I won't come looking for you. Sarah was in disbelief from the insults made from Emily and Daniel as they continue to insult each other with haste. "You're all crazy," Judith shouted out. Judith demanded that Emily apologize to her brother for starting the name-calling and disrespecting him in front of her friend Sarah at the dinner table. "Emily, you know what you're wrong. You started the name-calling, and I want you to apologize right now to your brother for disrespecting him in front of your friend. Do it now," Emily apologized to Daniel. "I'm sorry for calling you a numbhead, even though..." "Emily, stop it," Judith said. "Okay, Mama, I'm sorry, Daniel. Really, apology accepted," Daniel responded as he accepted his sister's partially genuine apology. Judith sat down at the dinner table and ate dinner with her children, with Sarah in attendance. She immediately initiated a conversation with Sarah in order to get her to talk about any issues she had or any problems she coping with. "So Sarah, what's been going on with you lately? The way Emily stormed out the house very early in the morning, it must have been really something really important," she questioned Sarah. "She said that you had something to tell her, but I don't want to pry in your business, dear. I'm very concerned about you. I'm not your mother, but I would like to help if I can, or you let me." "Oh, it's nothing, Mrs. Wilkerson. You don't need to bother yourself with my problems," Sarah replied to Judith, with her secret still bound in her heart and soul. Emily interrupted her mother. "Oh, Mom, don't worry. Everything is fine." Emily tried to keep Sarah from spilling the beans about her pregnancy. "Don't interrupt, Emily. Now, Sarah, Now, Sarah, how is your mother?" Judith asked Sarah. "Mrs. Wilkerson, it's hard to say sometimes. It's like I hardly see her sometimes. She's out all the time of the night and comes home whenever she gets ready to come home. She claims to be working late, and the majority of the time, I don't believe it." Donnie came home surprisingly from a long day at work. He came in through the front door quickly. He wanted to surprise his family. Donnie proceeded into the dining room, where Judith, Emily, Daniel, and Sarah were at the dinner table. Donnie talked to Sarah about her father and their family issues. Donnie decided to take the matter into his own conversation and talk to Sarah. "How everyone's doing?" Judith answered. "Donnie, we're doing fine, babe." Next page. "How is your day at work? I see you've made a lot of overtime today," Judith responded. Donnie leaned down and kissed Judith on the lips. "It was hard, but it was worth the effort I may get those extra hours in order for us to be able to afford things we need for our house and our home." Emily and Daniel was very excited about their father coming home early from work. They both greeted their father with open arms. Emily and was really excited to see her father. "Hello, Daddy. How are you today? Daniel and I really miss having you here on time for dinner. But it's okay. I mean, with overtime, it's worth it because you are worth the excitement so that my brother and I can continue to welcome you home." Daniel walked over to shake hands with his father. "Hello, Pops. How art thou? I miss you, I mean, at the dinner table, but I understand the hard work and everything else you're doing for us. I'm very proud of you. Your dad loves you both. Hi, Sarah. How are you doing?" "I'm fine, Mr. Wilkerson," Sarah replied. Donnie began to converse with Sarah about her father's concern for her well-being. Sarah abruptly reacted to Donnie's line of questioning about her father and how he's worried about her. "Sarah, your father is very worried about you," Donnie said. "Is he okay, Mr. Wilkerson? Is he okay?" Donnie questioned Mr. Wilkerson. Donnie assured Sarah that her father was okay. "Yes, Sarah, your father is fine. He's just worried about you." Sarah briefly glanced at Emily, worried that the secret will be out if the line of questioning continued. "Mr. Wilkerson, why is my father worried about me?" she asked Mr. Wilkerson. Emily interrupted her father while questioning Sarah. "Daddy, Sarah's fine. Her father's fine." "Don't interrupt, Emily," Donnie replied, only to keep Emily from interrupting from questioning Sarah about the secret he's been keeping to herself. "Her dad says that there is something wrong with Sarah. He decided that maybe this is a girl thing, a situation more in need of a woman's advice and attention. He said you don't talk to him about anything and that he's worried about you. Very worried, Sarah." Sarah became startled because she knew she's being found out about her pregnancy. Sarah was reluctant to keep the news about her pregnancy a secret. "It's nothing, Mr. Wilkerson. It's nothing. It's nothing." Sarah hesitated to tell Mr. Wilkerson about her pregnancy. "Okay, Sarah, maybe I'll go ahead and leave for about 10 minutes or so. I got to take a shower anyways. Maybe you'll feel more comfortable without my presence. Judith, darling, put my dinner in the oven, will you, dear?" Donnie signaled Judith with a wink to start a conversation with Sarah about her problem and the secret she was keeping between her and Emily. "Okay, baby," Judith said while signaling back to Donnie her pinky finger. Judith prepared Donnie's dinner and placed it in the oven. Judith sat back at the dinner table with Sarah and her children. She was determined to get Sarah to talk about what she's been through and what's going on, so her father wouldn't worry so much about her. Emily asked to be excused from the table along with Sarah. Mom, can Sarah and I be excused so that we can go upstairs to my room? Not quite yet, girls, Judith replied. I would like to talk to you about Sarah. So concerned about what Mrs. Wilkinson had to say, Sarah was especially reluctant to reveal her pregnancy to Mr. Wilkinson. She continued to keep the secret. What is this about, Miss Wilkinson? Tell me, Sarah, baby. It's not hard to notice that sometimes with you, and sometimes I, trip over my words too. And that's a fact. I just trip over my words. Okay, let's read the next page. Daniel abruptly interrupted his mother and Sarah's conversation. Oh my God, Sarah, are you and your sister, are y'all in trouble? Judith turned to Daniel and demanded that he be quiet. Daniel, hush. Take your plate, get your plate, tray, and go upstairs and finish your dinner, please. Thank your son. This is a girl talk. Daniel got up and left the dinner table. He retrieved his tray out of the pantry to place his dinner plate on. Daniel proceeded upstairs to her room, muttering to Emily and Sarah, trouble. Daniel, go, Judith shouted towards the stairway at Daniel with muttering at Emily and Sarah. Son, go upstairs now. Disappear upstairs. Daniel disappeared upstairs just to continue his conversation with Sarah. Now, Sarah, like I said, it's been hard to notice that you have a problem. Emily rushed out of the house this morning without eating breakfast. I know at the moment that something wasn't right about what was going on between you. Sarah assured Mrs. Wilkinson that's nothing was wrong with her or Emily. It's nothing, Mrs. Wilkinson. Sarah, the way Emily has been storming out of this morning and every morning after that without eating breakfast is a problem. That someone's not right here, sweetie. Emily never spends time with the family anymore since the secret that you and Emily are holding on to. Emily continued to take up for Sarah as she still continued to be hesitant about concealing her secret to her mother, Judith. Judith began to worry about Sarah. She continued to grill Sarah. Mama, maybe I'm not hungry in the mornings. That's no excuse, Emily. Judith continued to grill Sarah. I can't help but be concerned about your well-being, Sarah. What's going on, dear? Tell me, Sarah. Sarah started crying, afraid that concealing her pregnancy would make matters worse. Well, Mrs. Wilkinson, I don't know if I can tell you or any more else. Emily, Sarah replied. How can anyone help you, Sarah, if you don't open up to me or your father. Believe me, Sarah, the look is there for anyone to notice that something isn't right with you. When you shut everyone out and my daughter Emily is not there to help you, who are you going to call? Who is going to comfort you if you keep shutting everyone down? Sarah glanced at Emily again. Sarah began concealing her secret to Mrs. Wilkerson. I see your point. You're right, Mrs. Wilkerson, but I don't think you could help me too much with this one. Try me, dear, Judith challenged Sarah to reveal her secret. Sarah finally put everyone's concern to rest. She was still in tears as she revealed the pregnancy to Mrs. Wilkerson. Mrs. Wilkerson, I'm pregnant. In her heartbeat, she knew it was possible that Sarah was indeed pregnant. Judith started grilling Emily. Emily, how long have you known about this? I'm sure that Sarah told you the secret, correct? Yes, I've been knowing all the time, Emily replied to her mother truthfully about Sarah's pregnancy. Sarah, when was your last menstrual cycle? Judith asked Sarah. Almost 3 months ago. Mrs. Wilkerson, Sarah said abruptly. Judith came up to Sarah and reminded her with motherly love. Sarah was deeply consumed, with Judith's motherly love towards her. Judith was Sarah's mother by heart. Judith convinced Sarah to tell her father about her pregnancy. Sarah became emotional once again about the possibilities that a pregnancy will either burden her father or, in her fact, kill him. Your father needs to be told about your pregnancy, Sarah, Judith said, while embracing Sarah. Sarah cried fiercely in Judith's arms. Next page. All right. Okay. She trembled with fear that her father would be angry about her pregnancy. I can't tell him, Mrs. Wilkerson. I just can't tell my father about my pregnancy. This will kill him tremendously with all the problems that we already have at home. I can't put my pregnancy on top of that. Sarah cried out to Judith. I don't think so, Sarah. Your father is very concerned. He loves you very much. He wants you to come to him when you have a problem. Anytime. That's anytime. He wants to be involved in your life, Sarah. Judith assured Sarah about her father's wanting to be involved in her troubles and her life. As any young, pregnant, scared teenager, Sarah was afraid about the possibilities of being thrown out of her father's house if she discloses her pregnancy to him. Mrs. Wilkerson, what if my father kicks me out of the house? Sarah said to Judith in fear of her father putting her on the street. Sarah, don't worry about that. He won't throw you out of the house. My husband and I will go ahead and take you home. We'll take it from the Let's get your jacket. I'll call my husband, excuse me, downstairs and we'll take you home. Judith, give us a minute. Sarah and Emily were left alone as they conversed with one another. Emily and Sarah were left alone as they conversed with one another. Emily, tripping up on my words again. Emily anxiously questioned Sarah about revealing her pregnancy to her father. Well, Sarah, what are you going to tell your dad? I don't know what or how to tell my dad this kind of news, Sarah responded. Emily confronted Sarah. Assuring her that her parents will be there for her whenever you have a problem. I guess with my parents there with you, Sarah, I think you'll be fine. Sarah built up the confidence to talk to her father about her pregnancy. I guess I got to get up at the nerve to do so, Emily. Emily and Sarah shared an embrace. I guess that is what you have to do, Sarah. Give me a hug. I'm here for you too. Emily assured Sarah that everything would be okay before she left her parents' house. Sarah, don't worry. Get over it will be okay. Thanks for being there for me, Emily. I really appreciate your mama right now. She's just the mother figure I needed. No problem, Sarah. No problem. You're my best friend. I love you, girlfriend. Don't you know that by now? I do. I really know that you are the greatest friend I know from the bottom of my heart. Donnie and Judith came downstairs. They were really ready to take Sarah home. They proceeded towards the front door with Sarah. They got ready to exit. Donnie instructed Emily to take care of things while he and Judith and Sarah got ready to leave for the Langston household. All right. Donnie opened up the door and held it like a gentleman. Both Judith and Sarah exited out the door. Emily, take care of the house while we're gone. Watch your brother as well, Emily. I mean it. Judith instructed Emily to babysit her brother while they were gone to the Langston household. Okay, Mama, Daddy, I will do so. Sarah, see you in school tomorrow. Sarah turned back to Emily as she responded, okay, thanks for being there as my friend. Donnie, Judith, and Sarah exited the house down the walkway. They proceeded to get into the family car. Emily searched and Emily watched from the front window at her parents' house as they drove off with Sarah to the Langston household. All right, I think that's it for chapter 2. I hope everybody enjoyed chapter 2, and I would just like to say I'm sorry to everyone. I tripped over my words a little bit. I keep tripping over my words a little bit. But I'm sorry for that. I'm very sorry. I'll try to do better with chapter 3 to ease everybody's conscience. But that's what I'm about. Okay, let's go ahead, and I'm going to end my broadcast as I speak. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, let me tell you one thing. I want everybody to like, share, and subscribe to my podcast. Okay, and I want y'all to ring that bell for any updates for my podcast. Give me notification to know when my podcast goes live. That's how I feel about things right now. All right, I'm done doing my verbal letter. My book was my verbal letter. And I'm just so excited about that. Making an effort to get my book out there is very important to me. I need to, make sure that happens. Get my book out there and get it sold. I'm praying that it gets sold by millions of people if that's so, because, my book is a good book. It is a good book. Even though, I've been tripping up on, all the possibilities of my book. And if anybody out there would like to buy my book, The Minorities, the pilot, please do so with love and with honor, caring and sharing, because that's very important to me, very important to me, to know that my book is good and my book is special, because I do have a sequel out there. And I hope everybody will tune in to my sequel, The Minorities, Richard's Indiscretions. That's the name of it. And I pray God everybody will buy my books. Buy my books for a reason. Buy it for love. I thank you for tuning in. God bless. And I would like to give everybody a warm thank you from the Chatterbox Letters podcast.